This is my Cr-48 that I've put elementary on. I've been using it a little bit. I discovered a couple of things, especially about the keyboard, namely the this, which I figured would be mapped to caps lock because that's where it is on a normal keyboard, is actually mapped as the super key, which is like the equivalent of Windows or the Apple key. That's really nice for the shortcuts and stuff, because instead of using the super key down here, because there's none, you can use this guy for all your shortcuts. So I learned that saved me a lot of time configuring things. Haven't gotten all the top keys up there to configure to do everything. The volume keys do work, and I'll show you that in a minute here. First, here's me booting it up. I did discover you can't have an SD card all the way in during boot, because it'll try to boot to it. I might be able to configure that in the BIOS, but if not, then I'll just have to leave it out like that. So here is it booting up, and it does boot it does turn on when you open the screen as well, which is nice. So that's actually a hardware thing, which makes sense. You saw the BIOS flash there for a second. It goes black again. Wow, that's bright. Alright, there's the elementary logo. And there's my mouse, and there's that. I figured out that horizontal scaling that you're seeing right now, or whatever that's called, that's when the brightness isn't all the way up, and that's only on the camera. That's not in real life. So I will try and turn the brightness all the way up as soon as I log in here. So there's the panel. Here's all normal apps. I installed Cheese, which is the kind of webcam booth, photo booth type thing. I also installed this brightness applet, so I can just adjust the brightness that way. And there, that stopped. It's cool. So everything loads up really snappy. Open a few windows here and show you what I'm talking about. So there's everything that I opened. It's fast. Using my search button here, my super key, I can do the scale plugin, which is really cool. And that's really snappy. I can also do the Expo plugin, which is the workspaces. So then I can move things. Whoops, overshot it. Move things between the windows. Actually, I'm going to plug in my cheap knockoff fake Apple mouse here, because it's a little easier to use one-handed than the touchpad. And my brightness went away again. Let's fix that. There you go. So yeah, basically it's pretty nice. Everything goes pretty fast. You can switch between them by clicking on the different icons. I can scale, do the scale plugin for just the windows on this workspace, which in this case is only that window, or I can do it between all the workspaces, which is nice. I can two-finger click to bring it up full screen to preview it, or I can three-finger click to close it. So multi-touch is all here and working. Three-finger click. I'm doing 3 fingers and just pushing down, push down, so I can close everything. Nifty. Whoops. I just opened Synapse there. I installed that a minute ago. That doesn't come by default. Let's see. So yeah, to install this to add this little indicator here, it's a panel applet. I could not find an indicator applet like one of these guys, or an indicator that did brightness. So I installed this guy, which does brightness, which is nice. But I had to unlock the GNOME panel. Oops, and it's a little buggy. Yeah. I had to unlock the GNOME panel with gconf editor. That's detailed on the elementary website, elementaryos.org/FAQ. There's a link to a customization guide if you want to do that. It's really easy to do, or you can use Ubuntu Tweak if you install that. Most people should never have to add anything up there, but in this case, I could see why it's nifty to add it. So, I just installed cheese. I don't know if it works or not. Let's see. Oh, the little light on top up here came on. Oh, look at that. Awesome. So it does look like cheese is working, or cheese is working. So you can see me back here. Hi there. It's pretty fast. Move my laptop around here. Yeah, seems pretty snappy. I think the problem I've had before is if you start doing effects on it. So let's just do this. It'll get glitchy or laggy. Or not. Oh, there it is. It's there. It kind of works. I guess it does work. It's just a little slow. That's fine though. I like this. No, what is it? Vertigo. There it is. It takes a second to load it, but then it works. Makes everything look like it's going really crazy fast. It's all blurry, but that is kind of slow. So for recording videos with effects, probably not. Photos, still photos, it's probably fine. You can record video without any effects on it. It seems pretty fast. So that's really nice that it works out of the box. That's what I've kind of learned with elementary and the Cr-48, that everything just seems to work. Which is encouraging for other computers for elementary. I'll load up website or something. This is whatever website I had open before, which looks like it's the Synapse Launchpad page. I'll go to OMG Ubuntu or something. I guess I could go to the elementary homepage. Be good. OMG Ubuntu is a pretty heavy site. But it loads and it works well. Again, this two-finger scrolling does work. Works pretty well. If you kind of lift your fingers off unevenly at the end or something, it'll jump around a little bit. So it's not 100%. Well, actually seems to be pretty awesome. Yeah, and well, I take that back. Two-finger scrolling is pretty much 100% awesome, and just about perfect. So, and three-finger scrolling or three-finger clicking like this works to, let's view back there, to open things in new tabs like that. So that's nice. What else? So I mean, I guess that's about it with elementary. It's on here, it works, Bluetooth works, Wi-Fi works, two-finger scrolling works, brightness setting works. The keyboard brightness setting doesn't, because that's just a function key. That's not actually a brightness key. Oh, I mapped, what is this, F9 and F10, which is actually, or F8, 9, and 10, which is mute, volume down, and volume up, to those functions, if you see here. I'm hitting those buttons and they're going. It's kind of hard to see. The brightness is weird. But they work. So that's good to know. Let's see. This, I mapped some of these. Mapped this key to the max toggle maximize. I can't talk. Toggle maximization state shortcut. So for example, if I hit it right now, it just maximizes the window. It doesn't completely go full screen, but it maximizes it, which is good. Because not every app supports full screen, but almost every single app supports maximized. So nifty to have that on the keyboard with one key. Haven't decided what to do with this key yet. It's in Chrome OS. It usually swaps between the workspaces, but there's not really an equivalent thing here. I thought about mapping it to scale, and I did for a little while, but I like being able to do the keyboard shortcut that I'm used to, which is Super W. So that's like the search key and then W key over there. And I have not gotten the back, forward, or refresh keys to do anything in the browser yet. I don't know if I'm going to have to go, because that's just F1, 2, and 3. I might just leave those alone. Kind because I still like having the shortcuts for, you know, like Control or Alt F2, Alt F1, that kind of stuff. So I might just leave those. But yeah, otherwise I'm really impressed. Oh, I have a 16 gig micro SD card here. Pop that in, and it pops up here. Go to Dexter. It's got the loading icon there on my mouse. Should just pop up, I think. Actually, last time I did this, I don't know if it popped up at all, because it just mounts it. Yeah, it mounts it, which adds it into your system, or your places menu here. So if I go to like the home folder or whatever, it shows it's mounted, and I can access it then. So I can copy stuff. It's just got the lost and found folder there. So I'll probably use that for transferring stuff between this and my my desktop or whatever, or for just storing extra stuff. Because right now I have, I think, what does it say, 10.7 gigabytes of free space. It's a 16 gigabyte solid drive. So that's how much Elementary plus some of the extra apps I've installed. That's how much that stuff's taken up. About 5 gig. So, which actually it reports. Let's see this. With flash storage, it's different. Because this is a completely new, completely empty thing, and it says it only has 13.7 gigabytes remaining. So, and it's 16 gig. Yeah. So I'd say I probably have only about 3 gigabytes taken up on this flash solid state drive. So that's kind of nice. It's not too terribly big. I still have some room to breathe. Obviously it's not as big as like a traditional laptop or desktop hard drive, but it's a small notebook, netbook type thing, so that makes sense. One thing I didn't find is the 3G. I did find on a forum that somebody has 3G connectivity drivers or something for it, which would be really nice. Have not tried installing those yet. I have no idea how that's going to work. Laptop battery seems to work, or last about, it looks like it's going to be like 5 to 6 hours, which is pretty impressive. With Chrome OS it lasts about 8 hours, I think it was. So obviously this is much more full-featured, a lot more stuff running in the background. So it's better than any laptop I've ever owned. So that's nice. And this some people call this a netbook, and really I have a hard time calling it a netbook because it's faster than my dedicated laptop is. Granted, my laptop's 4 or 5 years old. It was high-end back then. But it's got the same resolution as that laptop. It is a smaller screen. It's a 13-inch screen, but I mean, it doesn't feel like a small screen. It does not feel like a netbook. So I think 5-6 hours on a laptop, a notebook is pretty impressive. So that's about all I have to think about showing you today. Here is the keyboard shortcuts window, just so you can see what it looks like. Basically on the left it shows the different actions. So one of these like volume up, volume down, and then you can just click on it and map it to whatever key. So to map the volume keys, I just found under sound there is volume mute, volume down, volume up. I just hit volume mute, and then hit the what looks like a volume mute key, and it actually ends up being F8. Same with volume down and up. It's F9 and 10. So that's how I did that. So yeah, that's Chrome OS, or the Chrome notebook running Elementary OS. I'll show you the Hibernation on this. So there, I completely closed it. It does take a second to go into Hibernation. It shuts completely down almost instantly, but when you go into Hibernation it takes a minute to, you know, save your state or whatever. But it's nice you could, you know, close it and throw it in your bag and not have to worry about using any power. I believe it's off. What's cool is it does... Oh, no, I was wrong. It's not off. Now it's off. After it's off, it does turn back on just when you open it. There, a little light just came on. So there's the BIOS for a second. blinking cursor in the top left corner, and then you'll get the elementary screen for just a fraction of a second. What's funny is I actually think it takes longer coming back from hibernation than it does starting up fresh, and that could be because of the solid state drive. It has to load it off to the RAM and then all that goodness, where when it's just booting fresh, it just boots fresh. I don't know. I could be wrong. That's what it seems like, though. Oh, actually right now I'm rambling and I have the SD card in. It's trying to boot from that. One thing I learned. So I don't know if I just take it off if it'll work or if I have to start it over. Restart it. Let's turn it off. Alright, so powering it on now. That's one thing I need to check in the BIOS settings, is to not try to boot from a SD card. Alrighty, there we go. So now it's actually booting. There's the elementary logo for just a fraction of a second. And back from hibernation. There's my mouse, and there's the window to log in. And I'm back where I was. I didn't leave any windows open, but it did come back from hibernation. So, I'll show you shutting down. Yes, I'd like to shut down. You can also just tap the power key to bring up the shutdown menu, and now it's off. So yeah, it turns on and turns off really fast. Alright, overall I'm really impressed with Elementary OS on it. It seems extremely fast, way faster than Ubuntu was on it, and it's actually faster than Elementary OS is on my main laptop, because it has the same processor, same amount of RAM, but a solid state drive, which makes it really snappy, especially in shutting down and turning on and everything. So that is the Chrome notebook running Elementary OS.